Okay, so my kitchen was more than just retro. I dreamed of a new kitchen, but a full remodel? That's pricey and a pain. Then I found N-Hance, and it was super friendly to the old wallet.
We'll take it from here.
Guess what? In just 1 week, N-Hance completely transformed my kitchen. My kitchen went from drab to fab. We got a whole new style with new door and drawer fronts, new organizers, and now I have a place for everything. I mean, look at this place. It's the best decision I've ever made.
What is going on, elite entrepreneurs and empire builders? I am Jared, your CEO of Fran Opps, and man, I am genuinely excited about today. This is going to be a phenomenal Fran Opps Live to end the year on. It's Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas. We have 2 Santa hats here, and I could only find the one that it's sparkly, and so that's what we get today. But man, I'm pumped. I'm excited for next week to be off. We don't have any Fran Opps Live next week. Spend time with your family, your loved ones. Look back over some of the other opportunities we've done throughout the year. Kind of get a feel and a gauge of some different things that might interest you that you want to look into this next year as you kind of prepare to pursue those business and personal goals of your own. But today we are here to talk with a brand that I'm genuinely real excited about because we've brought on before throughout this year. It's been really cool to reflect on it. We've brought on in the past number one brands in different spaces. A lot of different spaces. We've brought on the number one brand in-home personal training. We've brought on the number one brand in floor remodeling. We've brought on, so we've done this before. We've brought on several number one brands in their own space. And today we're going to end the year with the number one brand in wood refurnishing. So I'm real excited about this one today. We are bringing on N-Hance, who no better way to enhance our group today than to bring on the brand N-Hance. So it's going to be a good one. They are part of the BELFOR group of franchise brands. Who they're a massive company. If you're not aware of that name, which makes sense, you may not be. They have also been responsible for franchising hoods and the Patch Boys and Safer Home Services and Cool Bins and 1-800 Water Damage and many more. So they know how to do this, and they're doing this really well. They are helping hundreds and thousands of individuals find success all over the nation in franchise ownership, and they can do the same for you with this brand N-Hance. You've seen N-Hance maybe in other places like Better Homes and on Good Housekeeping and Martha Stewart Living and Origin Magazine and more. They've been all over. And today we have the pleasure to bring in the CEO, Bob DeGraff, who has helped grow this business to over 270 franchise locations. And this brand has become one of the fastest growing franchises for the last 6 years in a row. And they are on an incredible trajectory in 2025. To be one of the most successful brands, especially in the billions and billions dollar of home care or home services space. And so if you're looking for a brand that's really a low investment with huge potential, that's actually meeting a need for people in their homes, this may very well be the one. So buckle up. This is going to be a good one. Without further ado, let's introduce Bob DeGraff of N-Hance. Hey, Bob, welcome, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing great, Jared. Thank you for inviting me and having me on here. Super excited.
Yeah, us too, man. Welcome to the greatest group in the metaverse, truly. And Steven, I see you in the chat. Welcome. Everyone else in the chat, drop your questions, drop your hellos. I'm excited you guys are here. We're going to dive into this conversation with Bob and N-Hance. It's going to be a good one. Let's just start there, Bob. Tell us, what is N-Hance? Who is N-Hance? What does it do?
Yeah. So first off, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to all the people watching. I saw your intro and very festive, loved it. It's a great time of year.
And if you're watching this at a later date, like in June, I'm sorry. We still wish you a Merry Christmas.
Yeah, we're still doing it, but 'tis the season. But it's a great time to think about families and homes, and the kitchen we like to think is really the heart of the home. and where families gather. So it's a good time to be on here talking about it. But N-Hance Wood Refinishing, to answer your question. So we are industry leading wood refinishing franchise all across the country. It's funny, actually, with how business changes and grows over time. We started off over 20 years ago as a spinoff from our sister brand. You may have known of them, ChemDry Carpet Cleanings.
Oh, yeah.
They've been around for 40 some years. So long time ago, some people in that brand decided they needed a way to refinish wood floors. And so N-Hance was born out of that brand. And then and we just grown from there. And the funny thing is now we don't focus a ton on floors. We still do a lot of floors, but cabinet work has really taken over our industry. Yeah.
Okay. Like kitchen cabinets?
Generally, yeah. Kitchen cabinets, any cabinetry, any really. But most of our business revolves around cabinetry and all kinds of things with it, whether it's repair work, just a basic refinishing, color changing. We do a lot of new doors, new hardware. We like to say we can give people a custom kitchen feel without the custom kitchen cost and the pain that goes into it, right? So that's really what we do. We focus in that arena, and we like to think we're really good at it. So
yeah, for sure. So tell me a little bit about your story and how you kind of got connected, because you weren't the founder of N-Hance.
No,
right? So
no,
how did
no.
you get plugged in?
Far from it, actually. So I started in N-Hance about, I think, 9 years ago, a little over 9 years ago, as a franchisee. I was oh yeah. So I started in Buffalo, New York, where I am right now. As in my early to mid 30s, two little kids at home. I was coming out of a corporate job that required me to travel a lot, and it wasn't going well at home. And I always wanted to own my own business. Started doing research, and I needed something that didn't have a high cost of entry, which I saw you mention that. And at the time, it was even less than it is now. But I needed something with the low cost of entry and something that I could start with at my pace and then grow. And I found N-Hance and took a leap of faith after talking to a few franchise existing owners and getting some backstory. I decided to go for it. And not really the way we like to have people do it now. I was undercapitalized and ill-experienced, and I'm sure you
learned firsthand how not to do that. Okay.
100. And I tell that story now to new potential buyers when they come in. I'm like, listen, you could do it the hard way like I did, but you're better off doing it the smarter way. So, and I just started and literally started doing jobs on my own and doing estimates at night, and then slowly grew, got a part-time tech and then a full-time tech and then another technician, and grew it to close to $1 million business by the time I sold it this year, as our prior president of our brand left at the end of last year, 23. And I started calling to figure out what was going on. And all of a sudden I'm in a meeting, and now I'm the brand president a few months after that, with learning what goes out involved. So it's quite the path to this position. But one of the things that I think really helps me is the fact that I intimately understand what the franchisees go through on a daily basis. I know it like the back of my hand because I lived it, and it's helped me work with the team here to modify how we do things and improve things, and then continue on a path towards growth. So,
that's fascinating, because
cool.
I don't normally bring on, like, the CEOs I've brought on, a lot of them are founders or they were brought in outside of the business. I've never connected with a CEO who was once a franchisee. So not only do you know the business, but you know it from a opening standpoint to getting, the coming on board, going through the process, to the openings process, to growing and scaling this, to even the point of reselling it and exiting out of it. You get the whole thing. I mean, what a benefit to other franchisees stepping into this with that kind of leadership and oversight. So I'm sure that
we're real happy about it. I like sharing the knowledge and also learning too. I mean, we have a lot of owners in our network that have been with us for over 15 years. So we're learning every day from each other, and we're working together. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's super exciting. So what kind of owners then are you looking for? Are you looking for more Bobs? or who are we looking for?
It's funny. Maybe a speckling of
There we
Bob's.
go. There we go.
Not too much of me though. No, we're looking for really all walks of life.
Okay.
We see success. I personally see it less about background and more about just your internal determination. And I use the word grit a lot. I think it's probably
Yeah.
overused now, but
You sure?
we
Yeah, I know
all,
what you mean.
right. We
Maybe
all
misused.
know, maybe misused. Yeah. But we all know that business, no matter if it's a franchise or just an independent business, it's tough, right? It's a challenge. It's a fight
Mhm.
sometimes. And when it's good, it's great. And when it's challenging, it's hard.
That's right.
And we see people from all walks of life succeed with our system, but a lot of it's based on their own internal determination. But we get folks that, like myself, when I started, that came from a corporate position or working for a company for years, and either they get burnt out or laid off or decide they want to change, and they come in and they might have some inclination to working with wood or their hands, or they might be really good at sales and marketing and
Mm.
really know how to drive that point. Great. Welcome to the family. We'll teach you how to do what we do. But then
Yeah.
we also see folks that maybe have a construction business or a side ancillary business that sort of marries to what we do, but
Okay.
they don't really do that, but they could see how it could fit into what they already do. We have a
Hmm.
lot of success with that too, where those folks come in
Okay.
and add us into their already existing knowledge base, and then we just grow from there. So
Yeah.
we can go with anything, but I when I speak with potential buyers, I really focus on their own goals and what they're trying to
Hmm.
accomplish, and really trying to see if we're going to be a match.
Yeah. Is this largely owner operator? Like, will they be the ones doing the labor, doing the work, or is this more of an executive role where that's contracted out, or how does that work?
Yeah, I would say it's definitely not an executive role, especially to start. Now, a
Okay.
lot of that's based on how well you're capitalized.
Yeah.
If you come into this with a
Sure.
good war chest, then you can start off by hiring 2, 3, 4 technicians right out of the gate,
Hmm.
get your marketing going at top notch. We'll help you with that, and you can hit the ground running really fast. That's we've seen people do that.
Yeah.
Um, albeit that's more rare.
Okay.
When somebody does
Sure.
that, usually we see an owner who comes in and we want to teach them the skills regardless of their situation. So that way, if employees leave or something, you're not left in the lurch.
Yeah.
But we see people who come in, want to learn, and then, they might hire one technician and then do the work with them. And then
Okay.
as they grow, they'll get off the truck. We call it get off the truck, right? You've heard that phrase.
Right. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they'll get off the truck, as the years progress.
Hmm.
And then we see them turn into a role of, generally speaking, much more sales and marketing focused and just managing the business.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. What is that process? What is your guys' process right now kind of look like? Is it just, let's get together, talk about the FDD, sign in a couple of weeks you're in, or, is there a full, like, what's your process to becoming an owner look like?
Yeah. So once there's quite a many process, obviously, with franchising. There's a lot of regulations
Right.
and a lot of processes you got to go through.
Yeah. And everyone does it a little different.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the soft end of it, the soft skills. So we'll have our Fran development representatives start the conversation. Usually, you get a lead or you get an interested party.
Okay.
They'll start it. They'll vet them. They'll explain the process. Send them the FDD. Start that process with them, and then once they're to the point where the potential buyer is interested more and have their basic questions answered, and maybe they've submitted an application, maybe they just answered their requirement for funding and such,
Okay.
then we like to have a phone call with myself right out of the gate. So once
Oh,
they're past
really?
the first couple of hurdles, yeah, I like to talk to people.
Yeah. I like that.
I like to get involved because of my background. I'm not,
Hmm.
and I don't mean this derogatory, but I'm not just some suit that got the job
Right.
as brand president because I went to a fancy college. That's not it.
Right.
I want to talk to these folks early and often to understand what they're looking to get out of it. So we have a brief discussion, a half hour to an hour, and then from there, if our paths are still aligning, then we will invite them up to our Ann Arbor BELFOR Franchise Group. I saw you mention that we're a part of the
Yeah.
BFG BELFOR Franchise Group. We just opened up a gorgeous new facility in Ann Arbor, Michigan, next to our
Wow.
existing facility. So we
Sounds
like to
cool.
have them. Yeah, we bring them up there. We call it a meet the team day, which I'm
Yeah.
sure other brands do too. And we bring
Right.
them
Yeah.
in and I'll spend a day and a half with them with my sales rep and then other members of our team talking about every aspect of the business. We have a huge showroom to show them everything and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So we'll spend some time together, go over any additional questions, have them touch a bunch of departments and get intros to them. And then we'll go from there. And then we'll just
Wow.
continue discussions until we get to the signing.
I love that. That's so unique that they get so much exposure with you as the CEO, because like even for a brand that's, especially for a brand that's over 100 franchisees, that's really rare. Because usually they're at a point where, and I'm sure you have other employees where that wouldn't need to be the case. You have people in place that they wouldn't need to talk to you to go through the whole process and make a wise, educated decision. That's not part of, like, it has to be. But your experience and in your desire to build that relationship with them from the beginning, I think that just speaks volumes to the kind of company you're building and that's in place for the support coming around franchisees and people like on this call who are looking at this as a potential investment. That's pretty unique.
Yeah, we like that approach, and it's different than before I got here. It was handled slightly differently than it is now, because I think I add value to the conversation, and I want them to know, who's got their hand on the steering wheel, and make sure that they're comfortable with that. And I want to know who we're bringing into the family. And
sure.
we do have plenty of people in Fran Dev and others that are involved, and we take all the input and go from there. But I like to be hands-on with that.
Yeah, I love that. Tell us then about the investment. What does the item 7 of the FDD speak about? What's the opportunity? What's the cost? What's the range? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so it'd be pretty general with it, but generally speaking, you're going to be an investment between $100,000 and $200,000 all in, by the time you get your van and stuff like that. For the requirements, we're looking for liquid around $100,000 with a net worth around $200,000. And then we provide financing too. In-house financing, which is kind of rare from what I'm gathering. If you're
is that a BELFOR thing though, or is that just N-Hance?
Okay, it is, and it comes right from our founder Sheldon and Rusty. They want we want to have some skin in the game too with these folks that are really making the jump with us. So we have some financing in-house, like I said, available to folks that many take advantage of. Some don't, which is great. That's fine too, whatever method they want, but many do. So we're able to work those out with them. But those are our general basic requirements, and there's credit scores and things like that. But that's the general financial requirements. Yeah,
that makes sense. And is that like, are they required to have like one van from the beginning?
Yeah. So they don't purchase the vans from us for our brand, because every area is different, and every, we get people like in Chicago, well, they might want smaller vans, right? And then we get more rural or suburb type of clients where they might want a bigger van or even a trailer. So we let them decide that we have guidelines for what it has to look like and then the wrapping and such, but we don't dictate the actual van, just that you need to have one.
I like that. That allows that you guys recognize the eclectic nature of our country, and that people are coming from different cultures and contexts, and their needs are going to change and their desires are going to change. And so I like that. That seems like that's the perfect combination of the franchisor setting and establishing those regulations, but also allowing some freedom to make some decisions as a business owner over this as well. So I really like how you guys have laid that out. It sounds like you've really thought through that whole side of, as far as support goes for franchisees. So can you tell us a little bit then about, unpack a little bit more about what would support look like for your owners coming in?
For sure. So in the beginning, I think we'll focus on that just because, that's probably what most people on this are interested in. We once a client signs on with us and becomes part of the family, we immediately put them in what we call a jumpstart program. And that is run by our coaching department, and they run through the gambit. We have everything check marked out. We have a whole year long. It's really a year-long system. In the beginning, it's a lot of clerical things, administrative things, all these things you have to get done so nothing falls through the cracks. We want to make sure you're getting everything you need handled, and we guide you through it step by step. They're on the phone with their coaches in the beginning multiple times a week, going through everything, keeping them on track, keeping them motivated, answering all their questions, things like that. And then we recently this year, some of the changes we've made to the coaching department, we recently this year started and launched a mentorship program as well, because we have a fantastic network of really dedicated existing franchise owners with tons of experience, and they're always so helpful. And
Oh,
I've been a
wow.
part of that for the last 8 years,
Yeah.
but we recognize that not everybody is an extrovert. Not everybody is
Uh-huh.
going to have the social want to walk up at a convention and say, "Hey, I'm Bob. I just signed. I'd love to talk to you about your
Yeah,
business.
right.
I'd love to learn from you." That's scary to a lot of folks.
Yep.
Luckily, it wasn't scary to me because I've met a lot of great people and it helped me grow my business faster.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
when I came in with talking with the coach, I'm like, we should really look at a structured mentor program. So that's part of our
Mm.
onboarding too. Once they get in and get set up and go to training, then we get them in the mentor program, and we connect them with a mentor that we think will fit with them and what they
Yeah.
goals and how they work. And then our coaches are along for that ride in every meeting and every conversation as well.
So the mentor is separate from the coach.
Yes. So
Yeah,
the
mentor
mentor
is the
is
franchisee.
the
Okay.
mentor is an existing franchisee that's successful
Love
and
that.
stable and has a great
Yep.
business, but they want to share that knowledge with the new incoming people. That's our environment. So it's
Yeah.
not, we have all protected territories. Everybody works well together for the most part, right?
Okay.
And
Yep.
they want to help. They want to have the brand be successful. They're passionate about it. And this has all been happening for years on, under the radar or just informally. So we
Right.
decided, hey, everybody wants to do this. Everybody does it. Let's make a formal sort of program, the mentorship program, and then we'll connect the people that are maybe shyer or don't know who to talk to.
Sure.
We'll connect them, and we'll be the matchmakers, and then we'll help the relationship blossom. So
Yeah.
we're along for the ride, but then we connect them with a really good operator to help them too.
Yeah, I love that. So and what has that turned into? As far as like some of your franchisees, do you have any crazy success stories or awesome success stories that you like to share about any of your
I
current
mean,
franchisees?
you could brag all day about people, and a lot of
Yep.
them have been my friends over the years too. So it's kind
Oh,
of,
sure. Yeah, other than your own story, going from
obviously the
franchisee
guy
to
in Buffalo,
CEO.
fantastic. No, I always joke.
Yeah.
But no, I think of one that reminds me of the growth of a business. So somebody that helped me out a lot when I was younger in it, Ken Mullen in Cincinnati, N-Hance of Cincinnati. So family business. Ken, we joke with him. We call him the Silver Fox. He's a typical, in his 50s,
That is a
looking good,
nickname I
all
will
gray haired.
never ever receive in my life.
No, I'm hoping to get there. I'm getting it started.
There you go.
But so he's the Silver Fox, and he'll kill me when he sees this. But
That's great.
but the funny thing is, Ken had multiple businesses and sold them, and started N-Hance with his brother-in-law. And Ken was the majority, and his brother-in-law came with him, as a minority partner. And they grew this thing and started in Cincinnati, grew it. And last year, Ken was ready to be done,
Yeah.
and his brother-in-law and then his sister decided, hey, I'm one out of the corporate world that I'm in, and we're going to do it together. And Ken was always the sales guy and the marketing guy, and then his brother-in-law was always the like the foreman or the guy getting all the work done with the team.
Yeah.
And now to see the two of them, Terry and Mark are the two now that own it, and to see them just continue to grow, continue to do this as a family, it's so heartwarming, and they're such a success. Wow. And they're doing so well, and it's just really cool. And we just actually had a little franchise spot filmed of them recently that'll be getting launched soon to show a little backstory behind it, and we'll make sure we share that with you guys too.
That's great. How long have they been in the system? How long have they been a franchisee?
Over 10 years. I don't know exactly off the top of my head.
Can you share how many, like, did they start with just one territory and where are they at today?
Yeah, I think they started with probably 2 or 3, and now they're up. I think they just acquired a neighbor, so they're probably up to 4 or 5 territories right now.
Oh, wow. Good for them. That's great. Just owning that
cool.
Cincinnati area.
And then we have other stories too of people that are smaller. Like when I started, I had young children. There were 1 and 3, I think, when I started. And I wasn't starting to take on the world and become a multi-million-dollar business. I was starting to make a nice living and be able to be present for my kids as a young age. I wanted to be at the t-ball practices. I wanted to be doing the dance runs. And this business allowed me that flexibility to be a more present father and do that stuff. And that's what was my number one priority was, I want to make a living and I want to be successful, but that's not my number one driver. I want to be a good dad and a good husband. That's it allowed me to do that. And now it's kind of funny that I reverted back to this position because I travel a lot now. But kids are a little bit older.
You can lead it according to that still as well. And you understand that for your other franchisees.
Yeah,
it's not priority first is their family. You
Yeah,
know?
family and
Yeah.
their happiness. And that's one of the first things I like to talk about with new incomers is, hey, don't just tell me, yeah, I want to grow this thing huge. And that's because you think that's what I want to hear. That's not it.
Right.
First off, what's going to make you happy? What's going to
Yeah.
make you fulfilled? What's going to make you happy with this decision when you look back 3 years from now? Tell me that story, and then
Yep.
we'll help you get there. You know,
Yep.
and maybe that story is, I want to be at $2 million. Great. Let's go. I hope,
Awesome.
buckle
Yep.
up. Hope you're ready.
Mhm. Yeah.
And maybe that story is more like mine in the beginning.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so we'll work with you.
Yeah. Like, can you speak more into that too? Because at the end of the day, it comes down to the finances, right? Like if someone's not going to make money from a business, they're not going to do it just because they care about carpentry work, right?
Yeah,
or
for sure.
cabinetry work. But
For sure.
so can you speak a little bit more into that too? You know, not like here's what you're going to make, but whether it's that
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
thing or talking
I
about what your
certainly
other
won't.
franchisees have done, or just speak into that kind of ROI question a little bit.
Yeah, it's a great question and one we get all the time.
Yep.
Obviously, not going to speak on net profits or anything like that because we don't
Right.
disclose that in our FDD. But we do disclose, top line revenue numbers, and we group them. We like to think we group them nicely where you can see, okay, here's the top quartile, the top 10%, and then
Yep.
the middle, the meat, and then, the bottom that every network has.
Mhm.
But, our top folks, I mean, we have folks in the millions of revenue, top line revenue doing this work. And, with a service business like ours, majority of your costs are obviously labor, some, materials and stuff like that. But,
Mhm.
You start doing that kind of volume, we encourage potential buyers to contact and validate with our owners, and they generally get positive feedback when they hear about that. But we have successful folks,
Wow.
in the middle range as well. And then we
Yeah.
have, doing $500,000 to $800,000 in revenue, and as long as their business is scaled right and their costs are right, they're very happy. But then,
Yeah.
we have big time guys that are doing million,
Yeah.
well over $1 million, $2 million. We have one gentleman
Wow.
who owns multiple territories, but he's in the $4 million range of top
Wow.
line revenue. So
That's amazing.
yeah, they're
Just from redoing wood.
redoing wood, and we do, just to be clear, we do a lot of redoor work too, where we'll add
Oh,
in
okay. Yeah.
new doors. But the way we do it, it's really unique.
Mhm.
We don't just reface them in a traditional refacing sense. We'll
Okay.
custom refinish the boxes and then get new wood doors made and refinish those as well. So it
Okay.
gives them a little bit more of a custom look, and we can do almost any color in the world. So we're not limited by specific colors from a manufacturer. We can do
Sure.
almost anything. And we can do the regular refacing as well, because sometimes that's what they need. But we do a
Yeah.
lot more of this custom type of look.
Yeah. Love it. So good.
Yeah.
But really, maybe wrap it up this way. If someone's on the fence right now,
Yeah.
it's a wooden fence that needs to be redone. But if someone's on the fence right now, between this and something else, what would you say is kind of, why should an elite entrepreneur or empire builder consider N-Hance over some of your competitors?
Yeah, that's a great question. And, I think everybody's situation is different and what they want to get out of the relationship, right? But what I would say to that person is, listen, we can fly as high as you want to go. Between our experience at N-Hance, and to be honest with you, we just had a new coach join our team. He's got double my experience as a franchise owner, and he's
Yeah.
my age.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
we
wow.
have so much experience on staff we've been there, done that, and we can help guide you to build and scale. And if that person's a high level person, they obviously have business acumen. They know how to run the business. They just need us to teach them our end of it and then help them
Yeah.
flourish. So we have the tools, our marketing department, we have our lead marketing department. She was a franchise, came in, built it, fixed it, sold it, exited, great. And then she's back working with us now. So
Oh,
we
love
have
it.
the experience on our team to really help grow them. But then that's one part. But the second part is we're part of the BELFOR Franchise Group. BELFOR Restoration, which is what started it all, they're like a $4 billion a year company in the restoration
Right.
space. Now,
Yep.
BELFOR Franchise Group is a subsidiary of that. So we have big momentum and a lot of resources
Yep.
behind us to help us and keep
Love
us
it.
stable. So we're not making, I've yet to been, and this is really refreshing for me coming from the franchisee side. And now, I'm putting my hat on of brand president and I'm the franchisor now.
Yep.
And one of the things that really impressed me a lot is from the internal end of it, there's nobody yelling and screaming about, you need to make every decision to make the most amount of dollars. And this is all about profit. That's not our deal. Right from the top down, it's It's do the right thing even when nobody's watching.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
that's what's preached to us. So we will do the right
So
thing,
good.
you know, and that's what we try to do. So I think we
Yeah.
could help the big guy and the small guy all together.
That's so good. Yeah. And friends, if that's you, if you feel like that's you and you're interested to get some more information and you just want to see if your territory is available, then all you have to do literally today, just type N-Hance in the comments, drop it down below, or even if you're watching this at a later date, drop N-Hance in the comments, or if you're on YouTube and you're watching this later, drop N-Hance in the comments and we'll reach out and get you some information, just see if your territory is available and begin the conversation with you on what the process looks like, what qualification looks like, and see if this might be the right fit for you. And so that's kind of where I would start today. If you're looking for that low investment brand with huge opportunity and to be a part of a team that cares about you and your potential, cares about your family, cares about all these things, everything we talked about today, then type that in and let's get started on your journey into business ownership today. But until then, Bob, truly, I can't appreciate you enough for your time, your investment, sharing your story, which is so incredible. The journey you've made from where you started to the CEO of the company now. And that's not going to be everyone's case, but you know, it shows that there's potential there. But seriously, thank you so much for being a part of this with us today.
I appreciate it, Jared. Thank you very much. And happy holidays to everybody.
Yeah, likewise, my friend. Hope you and the family have a good Merry Christmas, guys. Again, next week we do not have a Fran Opps live, and so we will be live in 2 weeks with the CEO of Resi Brands. And so excited to kind of continue to talk about some home service options there, but that'll be in a couple weeks. And until then, I hope you all have a great and Merry Christmas.